Welcome to the Tri-Cities Regional Chamber of Commerce Quick Takes Legislative Live Video Series. My name is Matt Murphy, the Government and Regional Affairs Director for the Chamber. In this series, we're going to share quick takes with our local legislators. We want to know what's going on, what the hot topics are, and what in general is happening in Olympia. I want to thank the Tire Factory and MacKay Sposito for their support of this series as policy engagement partners. Today, we're joined by Representative Jeremie Dufault from the 15th Legislative District. Hello and welcome, Representative Dufault.
Well, hi, Matt. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege and an honor to be here talking to you and all the folks who are watching.
Well, thank you. So, I stumbled across you. I barged in on a committee meeting last week when I was in Olympia, and we had an opportunity to chat real quick. You had indicated that you had been a legislator before. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was elected to the 15th District by my constituents, my friends and my neighbors back in 2018, and I served 2 terms. Then I was redistricted out of my district in 2022, only to be put back in 2024. So here I am. I had the opportunity to serve my friends and neighbors once again, and it's really been a great experience to be back doing that kind of work again for the folks that I grew up with.
Well, at least the redistricting won for somebody, I guess, huh?
Yes, it was the only thing that really went well out of that whole process in 2024, in my view.
Exactly, yeah. So how is this time different than last time around, or is it really?
Well, the last time we were here, we weren't in person. It was remote, and so it's a lot nicer to be here in person. We should have always been in person. That's how you get things done, is by reaching across the aisle and talking to folks on your own side of the aisle and talking to people who these policies are going to impact their jobs and their families and their properties. And so it's good in that sense that we get to be here having those conversations again instead of them not occurring. And unfortunately, the policy, it doesn't seem to be much better than what was being proposed back in those days.
Well, that's unfortunate, but we have the utmost confidence in you to represent us well. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So you currently sit on 3 committees. You sit on the Rules Committee, the Consumer Protection of Business Community, and the Housing Committee.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about the Housing Committee.
Okay.
So what, in Olympia, what is the feeling around affordable housing in Olympia?
I would say it's a very high priority for folks on both sides of the aisle. The problem is that we've got very different views on how to get to the right solution that are diametrically opposed to each other. And in my view, the routes that are being pursued are going to be very dangerous and are going to undercut the ultimate goal that we all share, which is to increase the amount of homes that are available for Washington families to purchase and live in. The solution is, and what most of the Republican caucus's solution is, and that is to have government get out of the way and let the private sector build, let the nonprofit sector build, cut the red tape, cut the regulation, and make sure that we're lowering property taxes on people. I mean, talk about a disincentive to home ownership and a disincentive to building homes and owning homes is when you keep taxing them and the insurance rates are going up because of things the insurance commissioner is doing. And that all impacts families who are both owning and renting homes in our state. And it's going to limit the amount of new ones that are going to be built, both by folks from within our state and folks coming in from without our state. And we need all hands on deck if we're going to solve this problem.
So speaking of that control and that regulation, real quick, rent control. I know it yes. Passed out of the House Housing Committee, and is it sitting in the Rules now?
It's up for a vote in the Appropriations Committee today, and then it will go to the Rules Committee. I fully expect it to pass appropriations. Unfortunately, every Republican and several Democrats are opposed to it. So there is a lot of opposition. People understand that rent control doesn't work. It's never worked. All it will do is limit supply. And that's not what we're trying to do, but there is an appetite for it on the other side. So I have every expectation that it will eventually pass the House, and we're going to try to amend it and kill it the best we can. But at the end of the day, we're significantly outnumbered.
Yeah, unfortunately. So there's about 12 days left until policy cutoff, and that means that all the bills that are in committee need to be out of committee, and they need to be somewhere else. They need to be into appropriations, right?
Appropriations or rules, yes.
Or rules. So we got 12 days. So what do you see as major upcoming battles for business over the course of the next 12 days, as far as the House is concerned?
Sure. There's a lot. This is when they'll start to really bring up the bad stuff in the beginning. Sometimes you want to keep the good feelings going as long as you can, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, some of the folks in the majority party really want to do some radical legislation, like what was being proposed today that we heard a hearing on. We might as well have been sitting in communist China. It's going to limit the amount of homes that you can purchase in Washington state, and just blatantly unconstitutional. We're going to be hearing more and more things like that. Limitations on self-checkouts in grocery stores, limitations on what you can do with your property. I mean, it's coming from all sides, and that we're going to hear a lot of it fast and plenty here in the next 12
Right.
days.
And I know tomorrow on both the House and the Senate, there's hearings on minimum wage.
Yes,
And so that's a battle you didn't even mention because you've got enough other things to talk
that's
about.
right. Yes, and it won't be in my committee, but I did hear that talked about, that it's coming up, and it goes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the number is, but it was something very high by 2031. I think double what it is right now.
It's going to go to $25 by 2031.
Okay,
So yeah, it's
not
huge.
quite
And,
not quite double, but a lot higher. Yes.
a lot higher. Yes. Yeah. So Representative Dufault, this is all the time we have for today. This is the legislative quick takes. So I want to thank you for your participation and for your commitment in the old 15th legislative district as well as the new 15th legislative district.
Well, thank you again. Appreciate the opportunity to be here, and appreciate you coming over and visiting and tracking everything what we're doing and communicating that to the good folks back home. Look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Thanks.